I look rough. Okay, so I'm making a car talk, and the topic of this car talk is understanding like what a toxic relationship can be. And I really like I just got off the phone with Lucia and I was really telling her what I was gonna do. And it's because I was listening to Jessie Reyes earlier. And I feel like I can pinpoint certain like relationships in which it followed the same like path as her songs. And yeah. So I feel like now if anybody feels like this is about them, Ursula, if you feel like this is about you, it is. But I think that I need to be very clear on the fact that this is about relationships through my point of view. Not necessarily my relationships, but just relationships that I've experienced through other people from my point of view. Ooh, see anybody get no point, no like say so in my recollection of like how things happen in my world. You know? Like it's my movie, it's my world, and how things happen in my world is how things happen in my world. I don't say nothing about how things happen in your world, and it might be wrong, but I don't say nothing about it. So you don't get to say nothing about this. Okay, anyway, so starting off, we are in her first album, which was called Being Human in Public. That album, chef's kiss. Anyway, so the song I want to talk about off that album is Apple Juice. It's one of my favorite songs. I love it. I'm gonna put this all on a playlist, and I feel like everybody should go listen to it. Um, but yeah, so Apple Juice. Apple Juice is a song about teaching people how to love, you know, like and giving grace in relationships. I feel like I was talking to Lucia, and I was like fixing people, and she was like, I don't really know if it's fixing people because at the beginning of the relationship, like they were perfect, they were great, they didn't need to be fixed, and I'm like, right, but I feel like that's also a thought process of like a person in a relationship. Like, of course, you have rose colored glasses on and you think it was perfect, but from my point of view, it wasn't perfect. You get me? So yeah, it wasn't perfect for me. Um, so in Apple Juice, the chorus verbatim says like, no one ever taught you how to love right. No one ever taught you how to. Basically, that part. Nobody ever taught you how to love right. Nobody taught you how to handle your baggage, and you're so, I don't want to say you're upset, you're just so independent, right? And I'm like that, like right now, like I'm like that right now. And it's not that nobody, for me, it's not that nobody taught me how to love right, but it's just I'm so hyper independent that like I don't like asking for help. And I feel like in a relationship, people always want to throw out the like, well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. I'm here to be there for you. And I feel like that is what Apple Juice encompass, right? It encompasses the part of the point in the relationship. Sorry, the point in the relationship where you guys are like meshing, right? You're perfect. You guys are like literally at the honeymoon stage, you know? The not the like I can fix you because it's not really fixing, but it's like I can help, right? It's like you're not in this alone. I can help with your baggage. You're not doing this by yourself. That's what's happening in Apple Juice, right? So wanting love. It's wanting to love. It's love. It's the real part of love, I would say. Like, it's, it's the hard things. It's the being there for each other when you have low moments, right? That's like the healthy part of the relationship. Moving on to, I have it all written down. Moving on from being human in public to Before Love Came to Kill Us. Very important songs to listen to is Same Side. And mind you, I'm giving you guys all these songs so you can actually go back, listen to them, and decipher. Like, because I feel like this is a great, this is a toxic relationship. Like, this is, you want to know how people feel or how the things are or why / how we got here. This is how we got here. In a digestible way. Right? Okay, so Same Side. The part in Same Side that I think is really, it's the whole song. If you really listen to Same Side with open ears, you hear Jessie talk about how she wishes she could be on the same side as you, right? But she talks about how she sees herself as a good girl and her partner sees her as bitch, right? As somebody who's always mad and angry and not understanding, right? And on the contrary, she sees her significant other as an a-hole, right? She's like, he's the one who's like that, but he sees himself as a prince. And in reality, if I'm being honest, I will say that you're probably an a-hole and the other person's probably is a bitch. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That's just real life, just real life happening. But from Jessie's perspective, what she's saying about wishing that I could be a bad guy, right? I wish that I could be on the same side as you so maybe we can get along. If we could see each other eye to eye, where we're both good people or we're both bad people, we could make it work, right? I feel like this is the part in a relationship where it starts getting hard. Like, when you guys are both starting to see, not, I don't want to say true colors, but seeing the worst side of each other. And things start not making sense. The honeymoon phase kind of, the rose-colored glasses are slowly losing their tint, right? You're starting to see what's really, really happening, and it's starting to get really frustrating because back in Apple Juice, right, you were ready to take on this baggage. You were ready to help this person. You were ready to teach them what love is. And I feel like at some point you start, I don't want to say giving up, because that sounds really mean, but at some point it becomes tiresome. Like, when you're giving, and all that other person is taking, that's it's a one-sided relationship. And I feel like it can go either way. I'm not saying that that's how this person felt or that's how this person felt and this person's right and this person's right. I'm saying this is what I see. And yeah, I feel like that take is not really conducive to anybody's lifestyle. Yeah. So Jessie's cry out of I wish that I could be a bad guy so that we could be fighting on the same side. And at the end of the song, she does this whole I'm sorry bit, right? She's like, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry that, I couldn't ignore everything bad that you're doing, because the for her, the narrative starts switching on a like, you see me as the bad guy because I won't ignore your infidelity. I won't ignore the way you treat me. I won't ignore the way you talk to me. I won't ignore the way you dismiss me, the way you take me for granted. Like, I'm sorry for all of these things though, right? She's like, I'm sorry that I didn't stay. I'm sorry that I didn't allow you to walk all over me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And the last thing she says is that I wish that you could be sorry instead. And I think that that's such a huge twist in a relationship, because when you get fed up, you feel like you're the only one who gives grace. You're the only one who does this. You're the only one. And to beg for somebody to be sorry, like to beg for somebody to take accountability, I 100% give grace to the fact that it can be hard, but at the end of the day, the sentiment of like, I wish you could be sorry instead, that switch of the song is so powerful. And it's the end of the song, mind you. It's so powerful because that's what it is to be taken advantage of. You understand? Like, that's what it feels like when you're at your wit's end. Okay? So that's same side, right? So when we go from apple juice where we're happy to same side where you're feeling taken advantage of, right? We go into the album Jessie. That is like her self-titled album, essentially, right? And we come into two really great songs. The first one is called Mutual Friend. Mutual Friend takes place after the breakup. Specifically like 7 months after the breakup, right? But it takes place after the breakup. And it's about how when you have a breakup or when you actively are trying to separate yourself from somebody and you're dealing with the repercussions of what that relationship was, right? You're dealing with rehabilitating yourself from what that relationship did to you. And I think another thing that needs to be talked about is that, like, relationships can be so physically taxing. Like, yes, I just went on this whole same side rant about, like, how mentally taxing it can be, right? How, like, you're apologizing for stuff that you shouldn't be apologizing for people taking advantage of you. But, like, I get it. Like, I get how in a relationship you stop eating, you turn to drugs, you turn to alcohol, you turn to things that make you feel numb, because I don't think people, like, I think more people should sit down and, like, reverse the roles. You get me? Like, I personally, for, like, how do I want to say this? Like, for the sake of, like, understanding other people's side, I love to read someone else's book, because I'm the first to say that I'm probably a villain in so many people's books, and I could see in some cases why I would be the villain. And in my book, I'm not the villain, but in their book, I'm the villain, and there's nothing I can do about that. I can't change how they view me, um, for whatever the case may be. And mind you, I can be a villain in somebody's book, literally for what I viewed as protecting myself. And that doesn't make me wrong. I said it all the time. Robin Hood was a villain to somebody. You get me? So take that into consideration. That while you're in these relationships and you're doing this and you're doing that, while you may have been thinking you were protecting yourself or doing what you needed for you, you hurt people around you. You have to be very aware of what people are giving to you and what you're taking and pouring back into the people that are pouring into you. And you need to take a second and look at the people that are pouring into you. understand that they're pouring into you, because a lot of people take that for advantage and don't realize that people are pouring into you when they are. You get me? It's like it's a big thing. Anyway, so mutual friend talks about how at the end of this relationship, the mutual friends are hearing different sides of the story. Your mutual friends want you guys to talk it out and want you to do this and want you to do that. And she touches on the base of like one of you being dead to me, like you being dead to her, or yeah, about this person being dead to her, and she wouldn't care. Like if her friends hit her up and was like they died, she wouldn't care, because that's how hurt she is. That's how detached she is. That's how through with everything that person has to give that they are. And she touches on the fact of like, my friends only say that because they don't understand what you did to me, right? Our mutual friends don't understand that you're too self-serving. They don't understand that you constantly put yourself before me, and you hurt me, and you did, like, it's not understood, essentially. And I think that touches on a lot of different things. Personally, a mutual friend literally is the reason why I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, wow, I need my significant other and my friends to get along. They are not friends. My Alex and whoever I date, they're not friends. Y'all could get along, y'all can have each other's numbers, but y'all don't hang out without me there. Like, that's weird. Because I need both parties to know where their loyalty lies. There will be no, we break up and you're trying to get me back together with them and da da da, you want me to hear their side. No, I don't want you to try to be the middleman between me and my significant other. You're my friend. You're my friend. You're not their friend. You're my friend. And that's why that's very, very, very important to be distinguished. You guys should get along. You guys should be cool, but you guys should not be friends. Right? Because to Alex, the person I'm seeing should be just that. His best friend's person they're seeing. And to the person I'm seeing, Alex should just be that. The person they're seeing is best friend. Do you understand? I don't need to commingle. I don't need it. Because then I feel like I can't utilize my friends the way I'm supposed to utilize my friends. Meaning, I can't make my friends understand where I'm coming from. Does that make sense? They're going to hit me with the you're too harsh, you're too this, you're too that, because they understand their side, because they're going back and forth. I don't need to go back and forth. Right? Especially because of who I am. When me and Lucia or Abby or any of my friends have a conversation, I'm 100% on their side. But I do love to play devil's advocate. And all my friends understand this. I love to play devil's advocate. And I love to be like, okay, but from their point of view, what if this happened? Or what if this happened? Or what if da, da, da. And I like to make my friends think about it, right? That's my job as a friend. I hate being in the middle of a friend beef and have to be like, well, they feel like this and they feel like that and da 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 da. No, y'all need to talk about it as adults. And all of my friends, Haley's a prime example. She had a fight with somebody that was in our friend group, and everybody was he said, she said, going back and forth. And I was like, Haley, this is how you feel. This is how they feel. I'm a grown adult. Go talk to them. Instead of doing this, that, and the third, talk to them. Sit down and say what it is. Because right now you're upset because of something somebody else told you, and she's upset because something somebody else told them. Talk to each other. That's how you end it. Talk to each other. So that's mutual friend, right? Nobody, your mutual friends don't understand the gravity of what you did. Essentially, you don't understand the gravity of what you did, essentially. And the only way for you to really understand the gravity of what you did is for you to talk to somebody. And by somebody, I mean them. And vice versa. And as adults, you get to make that decision. If you want to be in my life, you should definitely know how you hurt me. And that's why the people that have hurt me in my life don't like to talk about it. Because they're very aware of what they did. And they don't want to talk about it. If you feel like you can talk about it, I feel like you might have a skewed idea of what's going on in reality. Okay? So that's moving on from mutual friend, right? That's in your breakup era of like, I hate the world and everything, right? We move on to still see you. Still see you has a special place in my heart. Still see you is literally about trauma bonding. And I think more people are trauma bonded than you would think. And okay, so at the beginning of Still See You, she quotes the fact that the best advice she ever got was just to let it go. And that how her friends and family say she's way more happy on her own. And I feel like that's a testament to who you are outside of a relationship. Because when you're in a toxic relationship and you're constantly giving to somebody who's constantly taking and never giving back, you're draining yourself, you're never happy, you're never this and you're never that. So when she's going through that and being happy now, right? She's still having memories of the good times, right? I still see you when I sleep. I still see you in my dreams. I still see you. Now, on the flip side of I still see you at happy moments, I still see you in bad moments, right? Like Sabrina Carpenter always has a song like this too. I'll have a Sabrina Carpenter episode of life one day. But still see you. Like, yeah, it's about being trauma bonded. When you're trauma bonded to somebody, there's like a part of you that can't let them go because of what they did to you. And when you're in a toxic relationship, it's not traumatic for one person. It's traumatic for both people. It could also be traumatic for one person, but it's more than likely traumatic in some way, shape, or form for both people. And the thing about trauma and why it's so hard to see that you're trauma bonded is because trauma to the person that's traumatized is always rememberable, and to the person who did it, it's a freaking Tuesday, bro. Like, you never know what it is that makes you so attached to this person or so attached to that moment, or why you can never get over it or never get over that person. So that's Still See You, right? And then we bring it all the way around to Paid in Memories. There's two songs off of Paid in Memories, right? First song is Couldn't Be Me. Couldn't Be Me is a song about self-growth, right? About how you couldn't be in the situation you were in before, and how you can't be taken advantage of, and how you wouldn't let somebody treat you how you've been previously treated before. Right? Okay. So that's Couldn't Be Me. Right? You're looking at situations where people are being the same thing I said earlier, taken advantage of, talking over, taken for granted, all of those things. Like, you look at people in those situations and you're like, that couldn't be me. Okay? And then we move on to the song of the hour. The song of the hour is Begging for Love. Now, this is the potential full circle moment, right? And Begging for Love, she says, what am I begging for love for? Right? And I think that that's a very interesting moment, because this is when I started talking from real experiences of not me, but bestie. I'm hearing that in response to Golden Boy, right? She keeps getting, why is he being praised for doing certain things that I've done? Right? And in the lyrics of Begging for Love, she says, it feels like I'm asking for too much when really I'm asking the wrong one. You make me feel like I'm begging. Begging for love. What the F am I begging for love for? Now, saying that you couldn't do what Golden Boy does. I'm not saying that. I don't think Lucia's saying that. I think she's saying the things that I begged you for, the things I asked you to do, the things that mean the most to me, he does it. And I don't have to ask for it. First, you did it. It's not that you couldn't do it, it's that you didn't do it. And trying to do it now defeats the purpose, because you're doing it now to make a point. That's a moment of, I see you. You don't think anybody sees what's happening, but I see it. Yeah. And I think Golden Boy is such a moment because I don't think anybody realizes how refreshing it is to have somebody that cares about you and who puts you first and who does the things you need without you asking. And yeah, I feel like that's a very big testament of begging for love. I shouldn't have to beg you to love me. I shouldn't have to beg you to care for me. I shouldn't have to ask for human decency. If you don't love me, if it's too hard to do the simple things, you shouldn't be with me. If you can't respect me, you shouldn't be with me. So yeah, that's how I interpret begging for love. And I think that a very, 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 very important takeaway from that song is that nobody should beg for love. I don't think anybody in a relationship, man, woman, them, they, whatever, you shouldn't be begging for love from your significant other. And you should never feel like because you're asking for anything, you're asking for too much. Like, asking for human decency isn't asking for too much. So, yeah. That's the little Jessie Reyes episode, because I was listening to Jessie Reyes and I was like really in my feelings about it. Yeah. I think, yeah. And I am going to make a playlist. I've been like doing really bad at making playlists. Like, I don't think I've made playlists this entire like season 2 of the like podcast. So I'm gonna put it all in a playlist. And I think that everybody should go listen to these songs, but like take a second and like really listen to what like she's saying in her music in general. Like, I'm a person that like, I love messages in music, and I feel like the best message or the best music has messages of real life things. And, you know, growing up, Lucia could tell y'all, everybody used to listen to me and Lucia music and be like, oh my gosh, who hurt y'all? A lot of people. That used to be our response. We'd be like, a lot of people. I'm one of them. Like, I hurt me. You get me? So I think everybody should take a second and listen. I would love to hear your feedback. And yeah, that's my take on a toxic relationship via Jessie Reyes. Mwah. Bye. I'm supposed to know how deep